Okay, so this yard is going to show how the netting and the fencing was put up to make it predator proof. So, hey Blackie! Hey, so funny. Okay, so here's this netting, right? You can't really see it. Well, I don't know why. This netting looks invisible right now, but this is like hawk netting, and it's, it doubles as anti-bobcat netting because any bobcat in the world will just jump right over this fence and kill everyone. So anyway, if you can see, the netting is attached. Oh, it's not really attached. Crap. Well, it must have come off somehow, but this clothesline. Oh, I see, the clothesline broke. Well, that's what happens when you use cotton clothesline. Anyway, you weave clothesline a lot through the netting, right? So then it makes it taut. And then you attach the netting to the top of the fence, which is, 7 feet tall, I'd say. And then, see how this netting over the actual fence, this is deer netting, and this is 7.5 feet tall. You have to staple the deer netting over your fence because, any bobcat in the world will just jump right through any. If a house cat can get through it, a bobcat can get through it. Like anything a house cat can do, a bobcat can do 500 times better. So, unfortunately, the clothesline broke. So, but imagine if the clothesline weren't broken, it would be flush up against the fence line like that. Okay, so see this netting, and the thing that's keeping the netting from sagging, which is like the bane of most chicken yards, is that I wove the clothesline along the edge. So it's a 25-foot wide piece of netting, and I wove the clothesline. See, here's the clothesline. These are two 25-foot wide pieces. They're 25 by 50 feet long, I think. No, God, 25 by 100 feet long strips of this netting. So you weave the clothesline across through it, and look, this is cotton too, so it's probably about to break. So don't use cotton. Use like vinyl clothesline or something. But see, it's not sagging, which is, if you ever try to put netting, you'll see how terribly it sags. Unless you do it this way. So look, here's more clothesline. We wove through the netting, and then we came to this corner and we wove more clothesline through it. So that's what's holding it up in this yard. And so obviously this fence right here is not bobcat proof. Obviously, it's like way too short, but there's more. The reason is that it's bobcat proof out there. So this is just a chicken barrier. This is not a bobcat barrier. So if your fence itself is too short, the way you make it taller. So say you have these 6-foot T-posts. I don't know, maybe they're 8 foot. These metal T-posts, you pound them into the ground, and then you attach this. This might be 3-foot fencing. Anyway, just the 3-foot fencing. This is fine for keeping chickens in. But then to keep the predators out, you need to make the fence taller. And if you hate building like I do, you just buy these wooden poles, and they're like, I don't know, $3 or $4 each. And they're 10 feet high. So you attach the wooden poles, and then you attach the deer fencing, and now you have a really high fence. And then see, here's the netting. I don't know, you can't tell. I don't know why we can't see the netting, but there's netting right there. So anyway, I attached the netting all along these really tall posts. So, see how the fence line goes? It's a short fence, but then I made it taller using these tall posts to keep the bobcat out. So, the bobcat, in order to get over it, he needs to pounce on something and then get over. He can't just clear it like a deer. So it's good that this is flimsy. If this were like a hard piece of fence, he would be able to balance on it and then jump over. But he can't balance on a flimsy fence, right? So Anyway, you can add the hawk netting at the very last, but it's more important, I guess, to make the fence tall if you do this in stages. So see, it's tall. And I don't know, I feel like that's self-explanatory. I don't know. And there's like some more fence down here that I didn't, that's, you know, still a work in progress in this other chicken pen. Yeah, we'll just go out here really quick. Yeah, don't come out, chickens. Stay in there. So this is like the adoption area, and it's still, the fence is still short, but see, it's just metal T-posts that you pound into the ground, and then you stretch a fence along it. And I don't think you need superpowers. You just like use like this metal wire that you buy from the hardware store to tie the fence onto the T-posts. I don't know. It's like, it's unpleasant, but it's not like complicated. It's not rocket science. You can like figure out how to do it if you have like a friend helping you. And then the basic supplies are these metal T-posts, which are like 6 feet. Yeah, go to the hardware store and buy like a bundle of 6 foot tall metal fence posts. And then this welded wire is, then buy a roll of welded wire that's like 3 feet tall. So those are the stages of building the fence. Yeah, T-posts, 6 foot bundle of T-posts, a 3 foot roll of metal welded wire, and then a 7.5 foot roll of the deer fencing. I mean, I think they're all 7.5 feet, but look, this is falling down. It has to be put up better, but 7.5 feet tall will make it tall, and then, okay, and then you adhere it to the existing fence posts with these 1x1s. I don't know, the hardware store should have like 8 foot tall 1x1s. Or, you know, whatever. Just go to a lumber yard. They have these like really tall posts that are like 8 or 10 feet tall. And you just either zip tie them to the existing fence posts, or you can nail them in if it's a wooden fence post. But if it's a metal fence post, just zip tie it. Zip ties are like your best friend if you hate building, which I hate building so much. So anyway, so this pen is still a work in progress. It needs the netting over the top to keep the bobcats out, for sure. But if you only have a small area to do for like 3 hens, it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that expensive. And you buy the hawk netting on Amazon. It comes in the mail. It's like super lightweight, and you just stretch it so that it's taut, and then you say, "Hi, chickens. What's going on? How did you get out? What are you doing? What's going on there? Are you so funny? Oh, look at that little mop head. Look at that. It's puffing stuff. Look at him. He's so sweet. He's just like a little sweetie pie. I know. I love you so much. So cute." Okay, anyway, so that's the end. That's the end of the fence tutorial that was 10 minutes long, and I could have said it in like 1 minute, but anyway, there you go.